What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video where I'm going to be going over this week's watch list and just a few different plays that I'm watching, as well as just some things in the overall market. Quite a few good plays this week, like 8 really solid setups that we're going to be watching. But yeah, let's just go ahead. So on the right side here, I have an hourly chart, and on the left side, I have a daily chart. These are the two charts I like to look at the beginning of the week, just to kind of see, the overall direction of stocks and patterns on larger time frames, and then break it down on an hourly as well helps. So first of all, let's kind of take a look at SPY here. So SPY last week, we had some pullbacks throughout the week, and that ended really strong on Friday of last week. I haven't seen a ton of correlation with SPY and some of the stocks we're trading. So a lot of the stocks are just kind of going on their own. Same thing with Qs last week. Looks fairly identical to SPY. Yeah, nice bounce off the EMA on the daily, right? And now let's just see if we can continue up here and make new highs and hold above that 400. First stock on watch this week is LCID. LCID had a really nice run last week. We had earnings. What day? Like the 15th pre-market, or not 15th? Sorry. We haven't had earnings yet. My bad. So we have earnings tomorrow after hours. So we're kind of seeing a run up for that. But yeah, this thing's been pushing really nicely. We had this gap fill that we talked about in last week's watch list, from $44 all the way up to $56. As you can see, when we broke 44, we had a nice push up that day, and we still have room to the upside in that gap fill. Overall, we're forming a nice symmetrical triangle here on the hourly chart. So we got to see where we open up tomorrow. First key level I'm watching is $46 to the upside, and I'm not watching any levels to the downside on this. So squeezing nice here. Let's see if we can open up somewhere in here, and we could possibly get an early entry tomorrow. This thing looks really good for a break to the upside here. Next stock I'm watching is AMD. This thing has been pushing really nicely. Broke that 139 resistance, came up, pulled back, and now retested it at 139. So now we just got to see if this thing's going to continue up. I have an entry at 148.70 for continuation to the upside. We have room all the way up to 156 or 155.65. Then if we break that, the sky's the limit on this one. So next stock I'm watching, a super interesting pattern on this one is Boeing, BA. If you look at this on the daily, we were squeezing really tight within this range here. Now it looks like we broke out of there with authority, and then we quickly pulled back, and now we're forming a bullish pennant in this area on the hourly chart. We're starting to squeeze really tight, and there's a lot of rejection up here at this resistance. And there's a lot of buying down here at this support. So let's see where we open up here tomorrow, and if we can get a squeeze out of this bullish pennant and a continuation up to these highs here, that'll look really nice on the daily chart. For a breakout of this, this giant downward wedge here, that would confirm the breakout to the upside. So next stock on watch is UPST. This thing got some power on Friday, nice rally there, and now it's just kind of hanging out. But overall, we have this gap fill opportunity up here, above 270.85 all the way up to 308. So that's all the way up here. Right, so we have that gap fill opportunity all the way up to here. So yeah, if we break out of 270.85, we could have some momentum back to the upside. And then to the downside, we got 232 for a gap and go play here on the daily if it wants to come down. So earnings really pushed this thing down, so we just got to see how it wants to react now. Next stock on watch is Nvidia. Nvidia is, obviously had a massive rally. We've been watching since back here for this flag breakout, and it hasn't stopped since. This all-time high break was insane, and now we're hanging out up here, holding the EMAs, and we saw a really nice bounce off that EMA. Now we're getting pretty tight in here. I see a little bit of a pattern here if we want to draw that out right there. This all happened pre-market and then came down. So we have this nice pattern starting to form right there. And it looks like it's ready to break to the upside again. Above 310 looks really nice. So upside on Nvidia. Next stock on watch is Facebook. Facebook is one of those that's starting to look good. We have a reverse head and shoulders here. So as you can see, we got one of the shoulders here. I'll make this a different color so you can see it. So one of the shoulders right here. And then we got another shoulder right here. And then we got the head down here. So reverse head and shoulders right here. And this is a bullish pattern. So we got the two shoulders right here, and then we got the head. And now we can look for a continuation to the upside. Key levels I'm watching is this 245 level. Break and hold of that, and then I'll look for a break above this high for continuation to the upside. I'm gonna get rid of these lines. I just wanted those on there to show you guys kind of the pattern, but that's a reverse head and shoulders, and that's a bullish pattern. So we should look to see a continuation to the upside, as well as just with all the news around Facebook right now. Next stock on watch is Coin. Coin had a really nice push, and now it pulled back from earnings, but came bouncing right back. Crypto's been pretty strong overall, right? So now I'm watching this resistance here at 349. That's the high of this day here, and it looks like we're forming a bullish triangle here. So if we can just break out of this resistance to the upside, it looks like we'll have some momentum there. So as you can see here, we got this triangle forming between this line and this line. Break out of the upside here looks really nice for continuation up all the way up to 370 there. So this one looks really nice. It's holding above the EMAs here. It pulled back from earnings, but it's still holding strong. So next stock on watch, and one that I completely missed on Friday, was Netflix. Actually, Netflix was one of those where I kind of took it off my watch list after these 2 days of just constant dumping, but it held this support area around here at 646 and had a massive bounce now, and now it's a reverse H pattern. So here's like the H and then the H here, so it should continue up right here. So we just got to see what it's going to do. It's approaching all-time highs. We'll see where it opens up tomorrow. First entry looks good above 689.40 to enter calls, and then a break above 692.20, which is all-time highs. Looks really nice as well. So keeping a close eye on this, and it looks really good on the daily, and Netflix likes to run for multiple days in a row. As you can see here, massive green day, has 2 more green days right after, so it does like to run multiple days in a row. So keep that in mind, and this one's on watch first thing tomorrow. Next stock on watch is Tesla. I always have this one on watch, and the main levels I'm looking at right now is 1,000 to the downside, just that whole number. It should flush below that. I played that here for a scalp when it broke below 1,000, but then it got back up. We also have this like downward resistance here, very steep, right? So gonna be watching for a break above that to the upside as well. The main level I'm looking at though is that 1,120 area there. Looks really nice. So gonna be keeping a close eye on this. It looks really nice to kind of break out either direction. But if we do break 1,000 to the downside, we have room all the way down to like the 910 area, because if we come down to 950 and then we fill this gap to the downside on the daily here, as you can see there's a gap right here. That leaves us room down to 910. So either way, this one looks like a good play either way this week. So next stock on watch, another one I completely missed on Friday, was Shopify. Shopify made new all-time highs on Friday. It broke 1650, which was the previous all-time highs. And it broke it very, very nicely, and it was a huge rally on Friday. I don't even know what percentage-wise this was. So, 10, 11% on Friday, absolutely insane. So now this thing is hanging out around all-time highs. I don't love trading Shopify, but, the contracts are super spready. Usually there's like, a $200 spread on the contracts. So just be aware of that. I like to fill a limit on this, and it is one of those stocks you have to hold a bit longer. It's harder to scalp and get like a quick move. Something like Tesla is easier to do that on. But overall, like, I'm going to be watching for that 1675 break, and then, who knows where it can go from there. So, and then the last and final stock I'm watching is Amazon. Amazon is one we played on Friday. We had this bull flag here near pre-market highs, and we had a nice rally. And then it came up and got rejected right around the same area, got rejected on this day. at 50 or 35.43. So coming back on the hourly here, if we can break above that level, we should have some room to the upside again. It looks like this thing is ready to possibly squeeze again to the upside. It's getting really tight in here, and when Amazon does that, it tends to it means it's ready to make a big move, similar like here, right? In either direction, it's got to start making a move. So like here, it got really tight again, and then it started making big moves to the downside. So just me keeping an eye on this, not really looking at it to the downside at all, but if we can get a nice play on the upside, either tomorrow or Tuesday, this thing looks really nice to break out of this resistance. And then from there, I can duplicate this line, bring this up to here, bring this resistance up to here. And if we could break above this resistance, that'll look really nice as well. So those are two main levels I'm watching this week. If we break above this resistance, who knows where we could go this week. So yeah, just keep an eye on Amazon. It's a big mover. I only recommend trading if you have a bigger account, because contracts are like usually around $4,000 a piece. So if you have a $4,000 or $5,000 account, I wouldn't recommend trading Amazon with your whole account. I recommend, on most days of the week, you only want to use like 25% of your account value if you have a smaller account, or even like a larger account. So then with Amazon, if the contracts are $4,000, you're going to want at least like a $16,000 account plus, at least early in the week when contracts are more expensive. So that is all I have on watch this week. Lots of good plays, lots of good setups. Very excited for this week. Last week, or this whole month, has been fairly challenging. But yeah, just gotta stay consistent, keep showing up every single day, and the good weeks will come, and yeah, should be good. So I will see you